Ginugunita ngayon ang 18-day campaign to end violence against women. Pag-usapan natin yan sa serbisyo ngayon kasama si Philippine Commission on Women Executive Director Kristine Rosary Yuzon-Chaves. Pwede rin po kayong sumali sa ating talakayan. I-post ang inyong mga tanong o komento sa ating Facebook Live. Magandang hapon, Attorney.
Magandang hapon din, ma'am.
Una muna, pakikwento po sa amin, ano po ba itong 18-day campaign? Anong layunin nito? At paano po yan nagsimula?
This started in 1991. No? This is an international campaign to end violence against women and children. The Philippines joined this campaign in 2002. Originally, 16 days lang po ito. But during the time of President GMA, she extended the campaign to 18 days. So this will cover November 25 until December 12. And then this December 12 po is a very memorable day because this is also the day when the UN protocol to prevent and suppress human trafficking was signed into law. In 2013 po, November 25 was declared as the National Consciousness Day to end violence against women and children.
Lalo na ngayong mahalaga din, syempre ngayon, especially itong ganitong 18-day commemoration natin to end violence against women. Kasi may mga ulat po kasi, Attorney, na mas tumaas yung kaso ng domestic violence sa buong mundo sa gitna nitong COVID-19 pandemic. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes po. We expect when we had this crisis, when we had this pandemic, we expected that our cases of gender-based violence will increase. However, when we secured data from the PNP, other data showed that there was a decline in the number of complaints received on gender-based violence. However, our agency believes that this does not really tell us that there was an actual decline. Pero baka lang yung ating mga victim survivors were not able to file their complaint because there are restrictions sa transportation kasi naka-lockdown po tayo. Or it could be that they do not know kung saan sila pwede mag-report. Also, factor din yon ang fact po that they could be with their perpetrators 24/7. So it was difficult for them to go out of the house and report the incidents of abuse.
So sa monitoring niyo po, Attorney, ano po ba yung yung mga common na forms of violence against women, especially during this time?
The highest number of reported cases is VAUC, or the acts punished under Republic Act 9262. So these are the psychological violence, physical violence, economic violence, and sexual violence. Next to that is rape, punished under our Republic Act.
Yun po, pwede pong paki-explain po sa amin. Kasi minsan, di ba, iniisip nung iba, kung hindi naman kasi physical, di ba, talagang hindi nagmamanifest, parang hindi nila nakikita siya as a form of abuse or of violence, di ba po? Paki-explain nga ano po yung mga forms itong sinasabi yung psychological, siguro even yung verbal abuse or yung economic abuse po.
Yung psychological violence is any act committed by your husband or ex-husband, your boyfriend, or kahit na kahit lang nag-date kayo or somebody you had a sexual relationship with, anything that he does that will cause the woman mental anxiety. One classic example of this is infidelity, which was recently declared by the Supreme Court as one form of psychological violence. Sexual violence naman is any act committed by that guy against his wife, girlfriend, or former wife or girlfriend that is sexual in nature. This involves forced sexual intercourse and acts similar to that. Yung economic violence naman or economic abuse refers to anything that will deprive the woman of her right to earn a living, or you will withhold financial support on that woman or her child as a form of manipulating that woman.
Okay. Pero sa ngayon po ba, kasi katulad yan, binanggit nyo na po yung mga posibleng problema, no? Kaya hindi po nalalaman yung mga, baka mas mataas pa yung incidents, like hindi na-file yung complaint, di ba, because of there's no transportation or kasama yung possible perpetrators. Ano po kaya ang pwedeng gawin?
Right now, we are campaigning. We are posting the hotlines, the several hotlines kung saan sila pwede mag-report sa mga violence na they experience. So currently also, we are working with the 911 Commission na kung pwede, they will be able to, our victim survivors will be able to report the incidents of abuse through 911. One way also to address our gender-based violence is through the capacity building of our barangay BAU desk officers, because they are the ones who will respond to acts of violence.
Sige po, pag-uusapan natin na attorney yung iba pang mga pwedeng gawin, 'di ba, para makontra itong violence against women, even yung role ng mga mismong kalalakihan dahil mahalaga rin po 'yan. Kasama pa rin natin si Philippine Commission on Women Executive Director Kristine Rosary Yuzon-Chaves sa pagbabalik ng newsroom ngayon dito sa CNN Philippines. Kasama pa rin natin si Philippine Commission on Women Executive Director Kristine Rosary Yuzon-Chaves. At attorney, ngayon ay ginugunita natin itong ang 18-day campaign to end violence against women. Yan ang ating tinatalakay. Ang usual ko po na nababasa pagdating dito sa mga sinasabi nilang violence against women or abuses, yung victim blaming. Ano po ba yan? At baka isa rin kasi yan sa dahilan kung bakit din hindi makalabas itong mga kababaihan para magreklamo.
Victim blaming usually pertains to rape po. Kasi we usually say na yung mga babae na rape dahil sa ginawa, like kung ano yung suot niya, ano yung sinabi niya sa lalaki, bakit sumama sa lalaki, gabi-gabi na. That's why there are campaign materials advising women na bawal, dapat hindi magsuot ng mga maiikling skirt or shorts, or wag sumama sa lalaki pag gabi na, yung mga ganun po. This is what we call victim blaming. We are blaming the victims for the incidents of violence committed against them. So when we campaign against gender-based violence, we should target the perpetrator, not the victim themselves, and we shouldn't be advising the victims on how to prevent the violence to be committed on them.
So sa ngayon po, para makakontribute nga dito sa ating campaign to end violence against women, what you advise yung mga kababaihan na pwede nilang gawin at maging yung mga kalalakihan din po para makakontribute din sila sa pagwakas nitong violence against women?
All women should know their rights, and then they should know to stand up for their rights. The victim survivors should also come out, because a lot of them prefer not to report the incidents of abuse. Our men should know how to respect our women. They should know. They should know that they have to respect the equality and dignity of all, both men and women.
May masasabi po ba kayo sa amin ngayon na posibleng activities that women can participate in dito po sa paggunita ng 18-day campaign?
What we are asking from you is to help us in our campaign against violence against women and children by helping us spread the information on the various laws protecting women and the remedies that we currently have to protect our women from the different forms of abuse.
Attorney, maiba lang po ako ng konti. Itong Commission on Women, sa ngayon po ba, ano po yung mga tulong na pwede niyong ibigay, or do you have any special programs for women in terms naman dito sa COVID-19 pandemic? Kasi marami rin yung mga nawalan ng trabaho, or ganito nga, yung mga instances of violence against women dahil magkakasama sila sa bahay. Meron po ba kayong special programs ngayon?
The PCW po is a policy-making body. As such, we do not have specific implementing programs. But what we do is we study the different programs of the different agencies on their gender responsiveness. So in so far as gender-based violence is concerned, we have had several dialogues with the PNP, with the DILG and the SWD for the reinforcement and strengthening of their programs to address gender-based violence.
Mhm. On that note, yung mga binanggit nyo kanina kasi 'di ba may mga kailangan, may mga desk officers sa mga barangay or sa mga pulis. Minsan ho kasi wala dun sa ibang mga police station. So namomonitor nyo po ba yan na meron talagang pwedeng
Yes.
dulugan? Opo.
Yes po. Each police station and each barangay is mandated to have a women's desk to address the concerns on violence against women. In fact, hospitals are also mandated to have their own women's desk to address also the concerns of our women and girls. So dapat po strengthen. PCW will help lobby to ensure that these women desks are in place as mandated by law.
Huli na lang po, attorney, saan po ulit pwedeng dumulog ang mga kababaihan at yung panawagan po sa kanila ngayong meron tayong 18-day campaign to end violence against women?
We have several service providers to address violence against women and children. You can approach any of your barangay, the police stations. You can also call the VOW hotlines, which are flashed in your screens. You can also call our office because PCW has a referral service, and then we will help you call or tap the appropriate government agency to address your concerns. You may also go to the fiscal's office or the public attorney's office to help you with your legal remedies to end gender-based violence.
Maraming pong salamat sa inyong panahon kay Philippine Commission on Women Executive Director Kristine Rosary Yuzon-Chaves.